Coming up on Small Town Big Deal.
Viva La Fiesta!
It's a 5-day-long street party that is muy caliente.
Wow, maybe I was a little too heavy on the pepper.
The food, the dancing, the incredible horsemanship.
Yeah! Okay, Jan, beat that.
Break out the guacamole, we're celebrating old Spanish days.
Viva La Fiesta!
Viva La Fiesta! Welcome to Small Town Big Deal. I'm Rodney Miller.
And I'm Jan Carl. Okay, so do you know what you just said?
Not exactly.
Okay, I'll tell you. Long live the party! And the party is here in Santa Barbara, California.
So come join us as we celebrate Old Spanish Days.
Viva La Fiesta!
It's been called the American Riviera and has been home to luminaries ranging from Ronald and Nancy Reagan to Oprah Winfrey.
But long before Santa Barbara became a playground for the rich and famous, it was home for centuries to Native Americans, Spanish colonists, Mexican soldiers, and finally white settlers who began coming to Alta California in the mid-1800s.
It was cattle country then, and cowboys, or vaqueros as they were called, ruled the range during what was called the Rancho period.
Today, that rich and diverse cultural history is alive and well, and celebrated every August in what's called Old Spanish Days, or simply Fiesta.
Old Spanish Days Fiesta is absolutely one of the most beautiful, richest celebrations of Old California, Old Spain, Old Mexico. The combination, the blending of the pioneer days of this city, this region of the Central Coast that dates back to 1924.
For nearly 100 years, Santa Barbarans have been celebrating their unique past and the blend of cultures that define this little slice of heaven that's about 100 miles north of Los Angeles.
This is quite a festival, and it's got a long and rich history. What does it mean to this town?
So unlike in other communities, so often when you're having an ethnic kind of based festival and you have to be the direct descendant of that, nope, Santa Barbara doesn't make any difference. You can be red-haired dancer with Irish grandfather, Italian, Mexican, Spanish. Everybody is invited to participate in the community's tradition so we can all be part of it. That's, I think, what makes it really neat.
The celebration takes place over 5 days, and events are spread out all over town, from morning till night.
We all love it. We love to party. Have fun.
Thousands line the streets to watch the Desfile Histórico, or historical parade. 300 years of history roll by, all of it embraced and celebrated con gusto.
Viva La Fiesta!
It's also one of the largest equestrian parades in the country, and horses and riders come from all over the area to take part.
You've got dancing horses and beautiful big Clydesdales. I mean, there's just all extremes. It's all wonderful. It's great.
But of course, there's more than just horses showing off their moves.
You keep telling me you have no rhythm.
And I don't.
Okay, it's not allowed here. You gotta do it.
You got the rhythm, not me.
Come on.
I don't have
Come
the
on,
rhythm.
you can do it.
I don't have rhythm.
Viva La Fiesta! Woo!
In addition to all the dancing, another one of the longtime traditions here at Fiesta is coscorrones.
Can you explain these?
Oh, they're confetti eggs. We have them for the fiestas, and the kids crack them on each other's head.
They crack them over their heads?
On their heads, yeah.
Like that?
Yeah.
Do you notice how I didn't even flinch because I somehow knew he was going to do that?
Everywhere you go, street vendors sell these little hand-decorated egg-splosions of joy.
So what's the big seller this year?
The good ones here, as you see, it's a shark. It's swimming next to another shark. We got a full body shark.
Oh, I like the full body shark. Yeah.
A lot of people know this one. And we have a
Pikachu.
Pikachu. You mentioned it, we do it.
Henry Mendez, with a lot of help from his 84-year-old mother, made 6,000 confetti eggs to sell at Fiesta.
So your mom cleaned 6,000 of those.
Yes, sir.
And,
that's what you do.
my goodness.
Unbelievable. Thank God that she's still good, right? That's what we got.
She's awesome.
Exactly.
She's a rock star.
Totally. That's how we do here in Santa Barbara, you guys.
When we come back, riding and roping at Old Spanish Days Rodeo. Yeehaw!
Gonna try it like that? Yeah! Okay, Jan, beat that.
Oh, they're still hot.
And holy guacamole! What would Fiesta be without digging into all that local food?
That is really good.
Can you guess how many of those confetti-filled eggs were smashed on people's heads during Fiesta?
Is it 200,000, 500,000, or 800,000? The answer when we come right back.
You're watching Small Town Big Deal. Viva La Fiesta!
So, how many confetti-filled eggs were smashed during Fiesta? If you guessed 500,000, you are correct.
Welcome back to Small Town Big Deal. And as you can tell, the party continues.
Come on, get into it. You can do it. Now we are, though, in the barrio, or the neighborhood, and we are in the backyard of the church Our Lady of Guadalupe.
So, Viva La Fiesta!
Woo!
There's no better place to get the real down-home, authentic experience of Fiesta than here at Our Lady of Guadalupe Catholic Parish.
Especially when it comes to one of my favorite pastimes, eating.
We really like the environment. Everything's authentic. You know, everything's handmade. The food is delicious.
To see the mothers, the grandmothers, the aunts cooking in the back. It's awesome. It's the actual real home recipes.
It's not just the mouth-watering tacos and enchiladas. The big Fiesta favorite? Well, hand-rubbed, flame-grilled tri-tip.
How many will you do today?
We're doing about 600 pounds a day.
Known in other parts of the country as triangle roast or bottom sirloin, tri-tip has long been numero uno in Santa Barbara.
You make a turn so you make sure you grab it, okay? There you go.
Like that?
Yep.
That's a big piece of meat.
It is.
So while Rodney was busy learning how to flip the beef, I was doing more tasting of the beef. Yeah.
Oh! Oh! You're a woman of many talents, you know that? I got that white man's disease.
Hey, by the end of this weekend, we might cure that.
Across town, vendors sell their wares at one of the big outdoor mercados or markets. Oh, and there's more food, too.
What are you in the mood for?
Yeah, I'm thinking Mexican.
You're in luck.
Guacamole! I want guacamole.
You can have guacamole, you can have guacamole, you can have whatever you desire, because we here, the JC booth that always serves the most award-winning, delicious, unbelievable taquitos, and 6th generational guacamole. Let me tell you, I know guacamole because I MC the World Championship of Guacamole each and every year. We've got it. You just tell me what you want.
That! The way that guy sold the taquitos and the guacamole, I'm surprised we didn't walk away with like 50 of them. That is good.
Very tasty.
A little kick, not too much, just right. We get the beef now too.
So many choices, so little time.
They don't fry them till we buy them, right?
I've ate a ton of food here that I didn't even know what it was, but it was good.
In these parts, they call it elote, or Mexican street corn.
What are our options?
Well, it just depends on what region you're from. So, like if you're here in California, I would put chili powder and lime and Parmesan cheese.
It's good. It's got some kick.
Wow, Maybe I was a little too heavy on the pepper.
We might need to get something to drink pretty fast.
And to put out that 5-alarm street corn fire,
One sandia and one mango.
Okay, so after putting a little too much pepper on the corn on the cob, cheers.
I think we better stick to something safer, like maybe the rodeo.
Another huge part of Old Spanish Days every year is the Fiesta Stock Horse Show and Rodeo.
From saddle bronc riding to calf roping, team penning to mutton busting, Santa Barbara's ranching past is celebrated front and center.
The rodeo has always been part of Spanish Days.
Yes, from day one, 1924.
I guess it's part of that tradition.
You betcha.
In fact, American cowboys of the Old West learned their skills from vaqueros, the Mexican cowboys, whose horsemanship was legendary throughout the area.
And helping keep that cowboy tradition alive today is Casey Branquino.
I started competing here when I was 9 years old, and I think I won my first championship here at 12.
Whoa. Casey comes from a long-time rodeo family. His brother Luke is a 5-time world champion steer wrestler. And Casey's kids, Blake and Betty, are already learning the ropes from Dad.
Santa Barbara Fiesta has been a huge tradition in our family. There's a small group of us fighting to keep it alive, and we're not going to back down without a fight, and we just want to celebrate our tradition and our heritage.
So with a willing teacher in Casey, it was time to cowboy out and get to learning some skills.
And imagine that bale of hay as a calf running away from me, and I'm just going to release my throw, and that gives us the rope right there.
Okay, like you made that look so easy.
Pretty easy.
Okay, Jan, you're up.
There! Oh, we got a natural.
Nope.
Oh, so close.
No, that was terrible. So what's the key, like when you're ready to let go?
Follow through and point
Where
to
you
where
want
you
it
want it
to
to
go.
go. It's no different than throwing a baseball.
I'm terrible at baseball.
Oh!
There you go.
Yeah, okay, Mr. Know-It-All, your turn.
There, now open your hand and... Oh!
I almost got our camera guy.
Oh! That's just pitiful.
Okay, I'm just going to try it like that.
There, you got it! We got a cowboy!
When we return,
What an amazing home.
inside the mysteries of Santa Barbara's 230-year-old mission.
It's not a museum. It's an active place of worship
It's
and
a
love.
living church.
It's a living church.
And then, fires and floods of biblical proportions. How neighborhood teamwork helped overcome tragedy. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Small Town Big Deal. We're still in Santa Barbara celebrating those Spanish Days.
And behind us is the beautiful old Mission Santa Barbara, which dates back to 1786.
Yeah, without this, there'd be no Santa Barbara.
With its pastel hues and worn adobe walls, Old Mission Santa Barbara has the look of an old painting come to life.
This is such a beautiful and massive mission. How long did it take to build this?
You know, it went through different stages in building, so it wasn't completed all in one night. And then it went through different decompositions at different times. There were some earthquakes that took place here, so they had to reconstruct it. So it's come to what it is now over a period of time.
I got to take my hat off to the missionaries that built this church. I mean, it's gorgeous.
It's known as the Queen of the Missions and was the 10th of 21 that were founded in California by Spanish Franciscans beginning in the late 1700s.
What an amazing home.
Sitting on 12 pristine acres overlooking the Pacific, the mission has been in operation for over 230 years. Father Larry Goslin arrived in 2012.
The mission is a beautiful place and we have a lot of tourists that come here, but this is not a museum. This is an ongoing parish mission, you know, and we have masses here every single day, you know, so we are a very, very active community, so we keep the faith alive. So I think that's a tendency for the tourists to come here and think, isn't this a beautiful museum? It's not a museum. It's an active place of worship and love.
It's a living church.
It's a living church. This mission is seen as a spiritual bedrock of this community, and the people recognize that. And I don't mean just Catholics or even Christian. Everybody recognizes this is the bedrock, this is the foundation of Santa Barbara, the spiritual foundation.
So there is a purity and a sweetness and a gentleness about Father Larry that's just sort of infectious.
And you celebrate what we have as our strength, and that's our tradition.
And during Fiesta, Father Larry is one busy padre.
I'm pretty much at every festivity. People say, how do you get around? How do you do it? I don't know. I don't know. I love celebration. That's kind of my personality. I love to celebrate. I love to be with
we do
people.
too. So, yeah.
So I'm kind of at everything. People ask me, where do you get all your energy? And I say, I don't know. I guess it comes from above. So.
This year's Fiesta festivities were a much-needed bright spot for a community that is still recovering from terrible loss.
Months earlier, the second largest fire in California history, the Thomas Fire, roared through the community. It destroyed over 50 homes.
The flash flood's right there! Get out of here, go! Oh my God!
Then, just a few weeks later, a deluge in the middle of the night unleashed rain of biblical proportions in neighboring Montecito.
Mike, get in the car. Mike, get in the car. Get in the car, Mike. Get in the car. Back up.
Unfathomable destruction followed as whole neighborhoods were swept away by mudslides and debris flow. 23 people lost their lives.
This has been a pretty tough year for Santa Barbara.
It's been very, very tough.
How has the community handled that?
You know, this community is a very, very resilient community, and they come together. There's been an incredible outpouring of cooperation among neighbors and cooperation among all people to bring this community back to where it should be in its normacy. You know, people have suffered here. I'm dealing with one family that he lost his wife, he lost his child, and another daughter. 3 people, and he himself was badly injured in the mudslide. You know, so how do people deal with that? You know, it's hard.
But heroes also emerged.
We heard a little baby cry, and fireman came over and we dug down, found a little baby. I don't know where it came from. But, we got it out, got the mud out of its mouth.
Stories like that of finding a miracle in a mudslide are reminders of the good that can still happen amidst enormous tragedy.
Ultimately, I think it will be a blessing for this community to have gone through this and now come above it and seen the goodness that's in this community.
And we've been through a lot this past year. And you know the way you wipe away your tears? You dance.
And for Father Larry and for all the diverse peoples who have long made Santa Barbara a model of unity through community, let the dancing continue.
And we'll be right back.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of Small Town Big Deal.
And when you come to Old Spanish Days, we recommend ending here on the beautiful shoreline of Santa Barbara, where you can calmly reflect on all the friends that you've made, all the fabulous food that you've eaten.
Then you might want to swim to the Channel Islands and back just to get rid of some of those calories.
I think that should be next on our agenda. There's the rodeo and, of course, the beautiful dancing and music.
Oh, my. And then all the history we've learned this week. I mean, it's so rich in history here. So adios from Old Spanish Days. I'm Rodney Miller.
Hasta luego. That means see you later. I'm Jan Carl.
Join us again next week when once again we celebrate the great stories from across America.
Next time I come, I have got to get a dress that's big and like flowers for my hair. Wardrobe. Is that good?
Good job.
Hey, no eating on the job. Will you come back next year? I'm ready for seconds already.
Viva La Fiesta! Viva La Fiesta!